Coach, first time we've talked to you since the announcement that you're in the WNIT. Just kind of your initial reaction to getting to play a little more basketball this season.
Excited about it. It's not where we want to be year after year. Clearly the NCAA tournament is what we want our standard to be. The WBIT was an amazing, tournament last year and new and but the WNIT is something that's been in place for years and years. That was the top other tournament over the past, and I really appreciate just how they run a tournament and what they try to accomplish. It's a field that just a lot of up and coming teams that are kind of like us, haven't set the world on fire, but are really capable of winning, anytime they play anybody. And so I think it's a really competitive field. And again, for us, one game, 4 games, I don't even know how many games we could potentially play. It's just a fantastic opportunity for us to continue to practice and get some game experience. And I really want to use this tournament to get, a lot of our young players a lot of time and run through, our bench and make sure that we're getting quality experiences for our players.
You mentioned obviously this is not the tournament you want to be in ultimately, but before you became head coach, this program had made 4 postseason tournaments. Period. You guys have now made it 5 straight years. What does that kind of speak, do you think, to what you guys have built and the kind of the culture and the program that you've built to where, there is this expectation of an NCAA tournament and that, just getting to a postseason tournament isn't the standard that you guys have set?
Right. Those are all the good points and the bad points of this program. I say that a lot. We can blow through some records and record books and what this team and teams have accomplished. And sometimes it's a good thing of what we've accomplished. And it's amazing that we're changing what's happened in this program. But it really does state that this program doesn't have a ton of, traditional winning background. It's never had great success in women's basketball long term. That example, postseason play and NCAA tournaments, and just and it's hard to change that. It's hard to change a program that just doesn't have a winning background, and certainly in the climate that it was in the pack, and now as we continue to try to grow this program. So, good and the bad of a statement like that, but certainly something that I want this program to stand on and stand for, and the where we want to go and playing for championships and competing at the highest level is our standard and is our goal. And clearly, we're going to walk out of this tournament and hope that it can springboard us into, bigger tournaments and potential for the next few years as we continue to build this.
I think it's well known as well. This tournament is not one of those that is free per se. It's the pay for play. And to host, how much does that kind of, how much do you feel the institutional support in that way that you guys not only, are they supporting you to play in this tournament, but giving you a chance to host? How much is that kind of, again, buy into that institutional support that you've talked about for so long that you're always really seeking and feel like you have with Ann McCoy?
Well, just in so many ways. And this is an example. This is a big example when they have to come up with some money and put a bid out and to host, and then the work that has to be done within the staff and ticketing and everybody that's going to run a game management and bring people in. It's not just Ann McCoy. She says yes, but then it's a lot of work from everybody in staff that we just appreciate so much. And it's devotion and it's commitment and it's investment. And that, Ann has proven time after time to show her support for this program, and we feel it, and we certainly, even feel a little bit of responsibility to uphold that and to put on a good program show and really compete and hope that we can advance through this thing. Clearly, this would be the only round that we can host. I think we have some conflicts if we were to advance. So again, but a big statement, and we've had some situations. Maybe we can announce it soon, but had some people step up and want to do some donations and some ways to get people in the stands. So excited about just again, Cougs everywhere that want us to succeed and want to see a lot of people in the stands and want to, continue to watch our team play and advance.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck on Monday.
Thanks, Jamie and Greg. Whenever you're ready.
Yep. I had to unmute myself. You okay? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, great. Kamie, going back to the WCC tournament, you guys, your first half against Portland was probably one of your better defensive or one of your better halves of the season. What do you take from that and move towards Monday?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on that, but for the most part, some of the frustration of not being able to put a 40-minute game together, and looking back on it, the youth and the thing, what happens at halftime that we think we can, start a half like we did in the second half and lose the lead in just minutes, and the growth of a team, of what we have to get better at. We've talked about it all year, the inconsistencies of putting a 40-minute game together. That's our mindset. That's what we're trying to practice this week, and continue to raise the bar and have great expectations of our team to compete at a higher level for 40 minutes. And that's seniors, juniors, and clearly our young players, sophomores and freshmen. Like I said, I want this tournament and any game we get to play to be a great experience for every player. I want to play a lot of players. I want to play with great energy. I want this team to feel like they're accomplishing something and very motivated in trying to advance in this tournament.
And then when you package what you did that first half with how you played the game before, I mean, there was a lot of things that you can take and grow on as you move forward with this team. I mean, you have everybody back but one after this.
That's right. Yeah. I think there's a lot of things we'll evaluate our entire season as we finish up this season and
Right.
Really dive into what's holding us back in some areas. But I'm telling you, a lot of it is just flat out. It's hard to be good as a freshman. It's hard to be consistent. It's hard to, know what you're going to get from young players. And you can take any of those kids off of Portland. You can take Ejim off of Gonzaga, and you can look at their minutes as freshmen, and then realize what they became as fifth year or seniors. And it's night and day. You have people that averaged, I don't know, Ejim, I think, averaged 3 points a game, and she is a force. And so it's just the reality that it takes time, and we have to continue to communicate that to our players. They're impatient. They want minutes. They want consistency. They want to know why it's not as easy as they thought it might be. And it takes time. It takes work. It takes, the old, just trust the process and stay with it.
Right.
And you know what? It's okay if it's hard. It's okay if you're not great right now. Just wake up every single day and try to get better. And those are the messages that our young players are hearing. And the beauty of it is every single day they're walking to the gym, some of the most competitive people we have in the gym, and they're not ready for the season to end. So I'm excited about that for our program and our entire team.
I know this is a strange setup in the fact that you get a first round bye. You don't know who you play until after Friday. And of course, they don't know the winner doesn't know who they're going to play either, or they can't focus on you. Has this been a good time just to focus on yourselves in preparation?
It really has. We've had great practices. We have a practice squad, a male practice squad, so we can get pretty competitive. And practices aren't really, really long, but we've gone really hard these last few days. And you're right, we don't have anything to go on, so it's just primarily what we think we'll see. And again, working on us and trying to make sure that we're as competitive as we possibly can be. And for the most part, really, really happy with our team.
What is having another chance to play mean for Tara?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's amazing. I think, again, you know, it was harsh, and the reality of losing in the tournament and not knowing that you're not going to advance to the NCAA is a tough pill, you know, to swallow a little bit. And there's some finality to that, but any chance you get to put that jersey back on, you know, I know she was excited about it. I know playing here at Beasley is huge for her and our program. And again, she wants great for our program moving forward too. And you know, the best thing that can happen is that we can gain some momentum and continue to gain experience and get ourselves some really quality competition and a tournament style win or lose, win or go home mentality. Puts a lot of pressure on everybody, and I think everybody wants to show up and you know, just be better than we were the last time we played. And I think that's how Tara feels.
Thank you, Kamie.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Go Cougs.